And the next topic, ladies and gentlemen, is carbon reductions from BSEEP. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in putting your hands together for NC Ahmad, Zairin, Ismail.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the organizer, Engineer Gopal, our National Project Director, and our guests of honor, speakers, and also members of the floor. My presentation today is actually to share with you on the progress made by this project, the building sector and the energy efficiency project since the year 2011 up to 2017. So this is a 7-year project. It has been very, very challenging indeed. And we were audited actually several times by the UNDP International to ensure that the projects remain to meet is very objective, reduce carbon emission in Malaysian building. Okay, I would like to share with you on the midterm review findings and the way forward for this project, because that will ensure the very objective and the implementation objective of this project will be met accordingly. Secondly, I would also like to share with you on the rating. Very painful, but I think the previous team led by Engineer Kevin had been very supportive, and we managed to keep the project on track. And finally, the way forward for this project beyond BSEEP, I think that is the most important thing, because project remains as a project, but at the end of the day, whether this project will remain to benefit the Malaysian industrial sector, building sector, is another thing. So we are looking at collaborators to help deliver this initiative beyond BSEEP, beyond 2017. So in a nutshell, this project, we have the roof there, is that to reduce the building sector greenhouse gas emission. That's the big picture. But underneath that roof, we have two-pronged objective. The number one is we are looking at improving utilization efficiency in the operation of existing building. I think that is the very, very challenging. Even in our building stock calculation, it shows that we are talking about 90% of the work to be done is in this particular area. It's very, very difficult. But in terms of improving energy conserving design of new building, we can see quite a number of success stories in Malaysia. I think in this region, we are among the leading nation in this area of green buildings, low energy buildings, low carbon building is already there. But improving utilization, this is challenging, and this is where the focus of BSEEP lies in. So we are focusing on the government building as well as commercial building, and we are given tasks to remove the barriers in the 5 components that have been listed. Institutional capacity development. It looks that very straightforward, but in actual fact, is building the capacity of institution to take up and promote the activities so that you meet the target objective, the target group, and so forth. Looking at policy and framework, is again that you're looking at the longer term perspective and moving the industry, moving the collaborators, and getting ready the industry to move forward according to the government target. financing is key because it reflects the market demand on these projects. Whether this project that we are talking today is basically marketable, or is it supporting business or not? So this is a challenge. And awareness and announcement is a lot of publication works, training, and so forth. That is the foundation of the work during the early days. And with this, only we can move the project accordingly. So the first 2 years was very, very challenging because we need to move the people, the mindset, so that we have a common understanding on how to move. And finally, the building demonstration. It's not only technology demonstration, but actually in terms of the readiness of the project owners, the property developers and so forth to move and accept technology, and how that this demonstration project could benefit our ongoing effort to move towards EE financing. Can it be a good model to refer to? So these are the questions that we must ask ourselves. So in short, we are talking about removing all these barriers so that finally project prospect could go to the banks, convince the property owners that it's good to embark on EE project, reduce your energy consumption, and in return reduce your carbon emission, and they can get financing. So that's the way forward for this project. So one of the key recommendations under the midterm review is by an international consultant during that time, way back in 2015, that we need to realign the institutional capacity development towards integrated monitoring framework. So they are talking of parking activities at relevant organization. They have the power to enforce, the ability to follow through, and so forth. Because I've been in a number of projects where project just dies off when the time comes, but beyond that is no more what we say as can be follow up, or it can be follow through. But in this case, we have managed to realign the projects accordingly. I will share with you. And we are also looking at demonstration is not purely giving wholesome money, but how that we can just give a trickle amount of fund, but in return we get 90% of fund coming from the project owners themselves to fund the projects. And along the way we give some technical advisory services. And 3, expanding network partners. Thank you very much for your attendance today. It is one way of expanding network, but what we are talking here is institutional arrangement. So my presentation today is about institutionalization of activities towards these remaining weeks. So this is in the affected outcome, what I have mentioned earlier. So in a nutshell, looking at the closing timeline, for the institutional capacity development, we are working very closely with the Energy Commission and also with SEDA Malaysia on the competitive standard for building energy management. For component 2, which is on the policy works, we have a very good cooperation with JKR and also Qatar on the development of the policy works. And also looking at a new first for Malaysia on the Ambassador Residential Code to stakeholders by Zairin Berhad. Thirdly, on the financing, the MDV factor coming in to finance project to be undertaken by ESCOs. Component 4, a lot of these publication works and also simulation software, promo videos have been produced. And for component 5, I'm working currently with SEDA and JKR on the monitoring of selected buildings. So we were evaluated as follows: satisfactory, moderately satisfactory for both the objective rating and implementation progress. And we are aiming higher this year, at least a step higher than what we have been given. So we totally understand that this project is actually, when you talk about development objective, you're talking about emission, real carbon emission reduction. And projects normally takes time to deliver. And a building itself takes 2 or 3 years to be completed. That's the reason why. So for financially for 2017, I will go through with you on what we are currently doing. Number 1 is on the transfer of MIs to the Energy Commission. Secondly, the transfer of Malaysian Building Energy Management Program to SEDA Malaysia, and development of National Community Standard for Building Energy Management by SEDA Malaysia. So Engineer Rahim from ST will go and delve in detail on this. So this is the framework that the EC is proposing, that the REM, the Registered Electrical Energy Manager, and the installations and the Energy Commission will work under this ecosystem, which is being facilitated by the Energy Management System funded under the BSEEP program. So with this instrument, the EC will have a better control on the reporting of the REM and the installation on the energy, on their energy performance, as well as the energy utilization. So in the future, you can think anything very positive coming from this. So they will have a quick analysis, quick understanding on the industry or building situation. What is the energy performance like, and what are the target policy that they would like to roll from this capability provided under the MIs. So this is the roles. For the National Community Standard for Building Energy Management, the reason why we developed this is that actually we are looking at building energy management is not only a theoretical work, but I think those who are actually competent should be rewarded accordingly. So with this competency coming in and awarded under the Department of Skill Malaysia and the Ministry of Human Resource, it will provide another window for professional under the facility management to get certified for the building energy management. So I was told that it will be a 4-day course plus exam. And there are quite a number of coursework during the 4 period that need to be submitted and evaluated by an external examiner under the Department of Skill Malaysia. So this is arrangement with SEDA that we are actually working with SEDA under 2 components. The number 1 is on the building energy management, and secondly, the online building energy performance monitoring. So this very 2 initiative that SEDA is now taking up beyond BSEEP will help to maintain the building energy management ecosystem in the selected projects. I was told that they have already identified the project beneficiaries, which are the RMK 11, Energy Audit and Retrofit Program, the Microns Program, among others. Secondly, we are looking at the Building Energy Efficiency Code for residential building by Zairin. We were briefed by Zairin that this very particular Malaysian standard is addressing the passive aspect of the residential building design. So we hope with this guide being put in place, the industry, the building sector builders, the equipment suppliers will have a better understanding on the way forward, what are the technologies that they should put in place in order to comply the new projects under this new MS. This is the first time. I think before this we don't have any. It's just our MS 1525 being used non-residential for residential, but this will be good. So it's, I think, purely, mostly on passive design. Secondly is on the regulatory instrument development for long-term energy efficiency in the building sector, and thirdly on this conference, I think we are here. So this is the progress of the EE code or practice for residential building. We have tried to talk to Zairin that anniversary of getting it done before June, end of June. So they said this is the process, that we cannot push them. They have their own committee, and the committee will make announcement once it is ready. So we totally believe that beyond BSEEP, that this will be the reference for the industry to move forward towards green residential. So, okay, thirdly is on the we have the CATA support now on the widespread adoption of MyCREST certification in government building. So this is another aspect because we really wanted this MyCREST to become big and to be widespread in its utilization, because the MS 1525 is the very foundation of this MyCREST for the building elements, under the building elements, building energy elements. So this will help to reduce the BI of government building towards a consistent or sustainable downward direction. On the credit guarantee facility, we have parked 2 million ringgit to MDV, and resulting from this early work, we have managed to get the support of CATA to get the National Climate Change Council to endorse on this facility in their March meeting this year. And this financing is actually key because the very objective of the fund setup is to help the ESCOs, because ESCOs are basically small in nature, and track record maybe is very limited, and it is where that MDV is coming forward to help the ESCOs, these small ESCOs or medium scale ESCOs, to come forward and make the borrowing and embark on the project of retrofitting in potential projects. So this fund now has grown to RM 200 million. And the volume of projects is quite substantial. Okay. So I would like to appeal to this conference is those potential equipment suppliers can upgrade themselves as ESCOs and work along this line to get the financing. So this is the model to be applied by MDV with ESCOs and the building owners on how the financing, the payment, and so forth. It will be explained in detail by MDV. So taking on from my NPD statement earlier on in his presentation, is MyCREST was launched somewhere in the first quarter of last year, and it's still very new. And we are, since the MS 1525 is a foundation of this MyCREST for the energy elements, we are looking at this MyCREST agenda as in tandem with what BSEEP is trying to promote, which is to reduce BI of building, as well as reducing the carbon emission in nation building, government building. So we have agreed to make some fund available to ensure that for the next 5 years that my crash training for their professional, their qualified professional as well as assessors will be taken place, as well as those trainings supporting my crash implementation. So this is the framework. And we are looking at maybe 100 of QPs by 2020s, and looking at for new projects on 30s, and O&M projects 50. So O&M we have not started yet. So it is very challenging. Again, what I've told here earlier on is that retrofitting is another area that you must look seriously to unlock the potential under the ESCO's arrangement. For our work with SEDA on the online monitoring, and also with JKR Senggara on the building clusters at JKR HQ at Jalan Salahuddin, and also the demo projects is all ongoing. I was told that SEDA has already started to do the connection for selected buildings, and Senggara is about to move in with the projects. They have already appointed the contractor, and works will complete before June this year. So beyond this, we will have online monitoring, which later on, the big picture here, what we are talking about is real-time reporting of buildings, energy consumption and carbon emission. And the likelihood of this data input to be hooked up later on to the STME system, Energy Management Information System. So we have the big framework and we have those individual connection. That's what we would like to achieve beyond BSEEP. So this is sample data from SEDA on the reporting that they have put up at their office in Kota Kinabalu. According to Steve Logentin, it is available to be viewed real time. So just imagine with the JKR system being installed for the 9 building cluster. So the KP will have direct access on the building performance of each of those buildings. That will tell something. And at night, what the building energy performance is still very high compared to during the day. So that sort of thing will crop up, and a lot of things will be revealed. So these are among the lists given by SEDA on the potential online building and performance monitoring. Okay, for demonstration update, these are the list of projects that currently we are looking for. We have still 2 projects in progress, including the online monitoring. Okay, this is the project from the Sam Dhabi for the residential. In fact, we are looking at the possibility of qualifying this project, whether it can meet the new MS for residential or not. But accordingly, actually they are just in tandem with the new MS, because they are addressing on the passive design on their walls and also on the roof system. So the approach is just meeting the new MS. So this is they claim to be very energy efficient. So this is our demo projects. So a lot of installation being put, and this building will be monitored under the online building monitoring under SEDA. Okay, another project is with the Palm building. we are very happy that PAM is willing to collaborate with us on the promotion of the passive design for these new building projects. And this is a very good case study for the industry to share. The other project is a project for residential for the low-cost housing. In fact, this project, I think this is the sort of project that we must do for the rakyat to benefit, because given these circumstances, what you can see is actually very, very hot during the day, during the midday, very, very hot. The roof temperature is appearing nearly 40 degrees Celsius like that. And we just imagine that we can come in and put the insulation on the roof and make the house a bit nicer and tenable during the midday. So works are still ongoing. We have Engineer Lai Chan as one of the experts for these projects. Okay, with that, I would like to thank you for your time, and a big thank you also for our project collaborators. Without your support, we are not here what we are today. Thank you very much.